welcome back. And as you know, we're very much in a Oregon primary election cycle, and I'm very honored to have with us today Representative Ed Diehl. He's an engineer, businessman, and has been serving Oregon's 17th district, representing them in the House of Representatives. And now he's a candidate for governor for this coming election cycle. Let me just say that you can check out eddiehl.com is the website, and there's a picture of that landing page right there. Representative, good to see you. How are you, friend?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Where are you? You're on the campaign trail.
Believe it or not, I'm home.
Oh, good. Well, good to see you.
We have a little bit of time before our first debate tonight.
Oh, that's right. Tonight's
RP debate, yeah.
The big debate. Well, the best to you. Good to see you. Thanks for your time. So why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's a number of reasons why I got into this in the first place. I just don't feel our state's heading in the right direction at all. And but why I got into the race for governor, I'm currently state representative, but I got in the race for governor because we have a governor right now who is really not looking out for the best interests of the Oregon people. And I saw this, all of Oregon saw this with the referendum, the transportation tax and fee bill, which she really pushed through despite overwhelming public opposition. And that just didn't sit well with me. Because I'm in here to represent the people.
Yeah.
So that's really number one. I want a state where we have a governor that represents the will of the people, that honors the Constitution, and we have some serious problems in this state. I'm all about accountability in our government, affordability, and building a thriving economy.
The referendum was loud and clear from the citizens.
Oh, yeah.
And even with the finagling trying to move it and keep it on the May ballot, it appears this could be one of the largest May turnouts we've seen because of this measure. Do you expect it to go down?
We do expect it to go down. Vote no on Measure 120. We gathered 250,000 signatures in 38 days, which is really a historical thing because it was all done with volunteers.
Well, we'll see. Good stuff. In the meantime, just getting to some of the core of your campaign, you have said that you want to cut spending by 10%. How do you want to do that?
Yeah, there's a number of taxes. We have a very high tax rate in the state, and frankly, it's driving businesses and good families out of the state. So first and foremost, I'm calling for the elimination of the hidden sales tax, if you know what I mean there. That is the corporate activities tax. Oregon has the onerous tax on every single business that is based on revenue. It's not based on profit, based on revenue. So whether your business makes money or not, you're paying that tax. And of course, we know that it's passed right on to consumers. So it is a pretty onerous tax. I want to eliminate that. I also want to eliminate the death tax. Our death tax starts at a very low number, the lowest threshold, I think, in the country. And we're proposing to eliminate it entirely. And then the last thing is to freeze property taxes for seniors.
That's been one of my pet peeves from day one.
Yeah.
Well, everybody I've interviewed.
I hear it everywhere I go. It's an applause line when I say we're going to freeze property taxes for senior citizens.
Well, I sure hope so. I mean, that's a no-brainer, and it sends a huge signal. You've also talked about creating 25,000 private secular jobs. Now, this would have to hinge on being business friendly, and we're not very business friendly in this state. If we lose a Lithium Motors or a Columbia Sports or a Nike, we're in big trouble.
I know.
So how do we reverse this and make this a business friendly state?
Well, there's a number of things that are going on. One is our tax rate. It just is a disincentive to set up shop here. And then we have when I talk about agency accountability, we have layer upon layer of rule and regulation and permitting that make it especially onerous and expensive to do business in Oregon. And this is happening across the state. This is something that crosses that urban-rural divide now like nobody's business. We have Portland shedding private sector jobs by the thousands. And it's not just Portland. I was down in White City talking to a boat company. This is a Oregon-made company called Boats. They build beautiful aluminum drift boats and amazing top-of-the-line ski boats, aluminum ski boats. And we actually held our meeting in one of the boats. But they want to expand in Oregon, and they're facing so many costs with system development charges and things like that. And they have tried to have an audience with Governor Kotek and have gotten nowhere with that. But guess what's happening? Texas businesses are recruiting Pavati. They had a call from Governor Greg Abbott and had a meeting with Texas Governor Abbott. And I hate to tell you, but they decided to move to Texas.
Oh, gosh.
That is just a symptom of what's going on around the state. Other states know that we have such a terrible business climate. So as governor, I'm committed that the first call that a business owner gets from an active governor is not the governor of Texas. It will be the governor of Oregon. And I spent my career in business and industry. I started an Oregon-based business, bootstrapped it with two business partners. I sold a car, leveraged my credit cards, put everything I owned on the line, including my house with two little kids at home. But it was a dream. And we built that business up to 100 employees. And we were solving very challenging manufacturing problems. That was what we did. And I sold that business a few years ago. But I have that understanding of what it takes to build a business, what it means to sign both sides of the paycheck, what it means to pay your employees before you get paid, and you get what's left sometimes. So we need that attitude at the governor's office now more than ever if we're going to turn this around.
Well, a big hearty amen to that.
Yeah.
In the meantime, back to the mess, and that is the governor fixed a $350 million problem with a $4.3 billion tax hike. When an agency is $350 million upside down, doesn't that warrant at least an audit as to what's going on?
Absolutely. Part of my platform is to do 100% performance audits on every state agency. You know, you got to look that we have doubled our state budget in 10 years. And you can't explain that with inflation. You can't explain it with population growth. You can't even get to half of it. So we know that our spending is really out of control. We need to get these agencies back focused on their core mission. So for me, that starts with detailed performance audits, independent performance audits, not just ODOT, but the Department of Education, the DEQ, every single state agency. We also need new leadership in these agencies that knows how to do a deep dive into the workings of these operations, look for fraud and abuse, waste, and basically look. The most important thing is look for misalignment on their core mission. You know, what's the number one goal in ODOT's strategic plan? It's not road safety and maintenance, it's equity.
Wow.
Equity doesn't fill potholes, it doesn't make my roads safer. So we have an agency mission misalignment problem, and that will be fixed when I'm governor.
Swing your attention to education. We're near the bottom. Certainly nothing to be proud of, and yet we have some of the highest tax dollar rate per student in the country.
Yes.
What do we do with this, Coach? How do we fix this problem?
Yeah, you know, it's an embarrassment, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It really is an embarrassment that we're in this situation with, given the amount of money we spend. So for me, it's getting back to the basics of what we know is a good education. It's about accountability, discipline, and excellence. We need to restore academic testing standards across the board. We also need to restore truancy and enforce truancy requirements. We have one of the highest absenteeism rates in the country, and it's because we don't enforce our truancy laws. The legislature's response is, well, we need to study truancy. No, I think we need to enforce it and hold parents and teachers accountable. We also have a real challenge in our classrooms, and if you talk to teachers, they are so frustrated. They're frustrated because they can't maintain discipline in their own classrooms.
Yeah, all right.
And so I've talked to a lot of good teachers that are basically leaving the discipline. It's sad. So little changes in our state laws that would allow teachers to maintain discipline. That's the fair thing to do for all those kids that are trying to do the right thing and are seeing a lot of disruptions right now.
So, Ed, how did all things sexual and sexual activity become the #1 academic item to teach? What happened to basic education?
You know, there is a gender ideology that has taken over not just our education system, but it's in every state agency. And all I can say is that is going to go away when I'm governor.
Okay.
You know, there's male and there's female. And I believe 100% in respecting and enforcing Title IX. And I will make sure boys stay out of girls' sports and out of girls' safe spaces.
Good for you.
And that's just basic stuff. And, you know, it's not radical. It's not radical to say that there's male and female.
What do you want to do the first day you're governor?
First day I'm governor, there's several executive orders that I want to repeal. We've put executive orders in place in the name of the climate that are really not doing anything for the climate, but are increasing every Oregonian's cost of energy and gas. If I want to go through systematically to repeal those laws.
Okay.
I also want to make sure that our law enforcement has the full authority to cooperate and communicate with federal authorities and remove criminals from our state. And that went away, a law put in place in 2021. Mm-hmm. So I want to restore that immediately and make sure we can actively work with federal officials and get criminals who are in the country illegally out of the state.
Do you think it's possible we could ever rescind our sanctuary state status?
You know, the way I look at it, the real problem came in 2017 when Kate Brown put an executive order in that went from a basic understanding. You know, for a long time we had law enforcement, your job is public safety. Feds, your job is immigration enforcement. But we can talk together. We can communicate with each other. What happened in 2017, and then it was put into law in 2021, that forbid even basic communication and cooperation between our law enforcement and the feds. It is so outrageous right now that you can have someone come to Oregon, commit a heinous crime, serve their time in prison, and then be released back into the community.
Yeah.
Instead of what the common sense thing is to have law enforcement call the feds and say, hey, if we have somebody here, please support them. That is what I'm calling for. And so I'm calling for the repeal of the 2021 Sanctuary Promise Act.
Lastly, by the way, good luck tonight. I think you got some great answers here. Lastly, it really appears, Ed, we have a crack in the proverbial concrete in Salem to put a Republican governor in that seat. And you've been traveling the state. What's the feel out there?
The feel is absolutely people are ready for change. And there's a little bit of a sense of desperation in their voices. And I'm talking about Portland, too, not just in the rural areas. Everywhere I go, people are saying, if things do not change, I am leaving. I am leaving the state.
Yeah.
That's not just businesses, that's families. People are seeing their children decide to move because they can't find a good job and they can't afford to live here anymore. Yeah. My vision for Oregon is to be the greatest place in the country to live, to work, to raise your family, retire in a place where your kids and grandkids don't have to leave and find a better job. So, you know, the common themes that unite us across Oregon, across that urban divide, are taxes, good paying jobs, an education system that actually works, and fixing the homelessness issue. That's just, and the wonderful thing is those are uniting us as Oregonians like never before.
Well, gosh, we got everything to offer companies to come here except bad regulations.
I know, but we can change it with the right leadership.
Yeah.
I am confident that that referendum effort
All right.
that will open so many people that we're going to have turnout like we haven't seen in years.
All right. Look into that camera and ask people for your vote.
I would love your vote. Vote for Ed Diehl. That's eddiehl.com. You can find out all about me on my website. I'm very active on social media, and I am traveling all over the state. And I look forward to meeting you directly and earning your vote. And let's take back our Oregon.
All right, very good. That's Ed Diehl, DIEHL.com. There's a picture of the landing page. You can go there and check out his positions on issues. And best of luck tonight during debate. We'll be watching, and maybe we can connect again.
You bet. I'd love to. Thank you.
Thanks,
God
Ed.
bless.
All right, God bless you.